The Smart Money Woman, Season 2, Episode 2.
So, how has it been going?
Well, I've been sticking to my routine and focusing on my growth. I feel great on most days, and I'm so excited about this new phase of my life. But on other days, I hate myself. And I fall into this deep, dark hole of self-loathing, which spirals into comparing myself with Chinasa. And then I wonder about the many reasons my husband left me for her. Her youth. Or maybe because I'm not light-skinned. Or am I boring?
This one in therapy. This was in therapy, plus she's doing all the trying to turn my life around things. She's eating healthy, working out, you know the things. She tells her therapist that she has days where she hates herself and spirals into self-loathing, comparing herself to Chinasa and wondering why her husband left. Wonders if it's because she's dark-skinned, whereas Chinasa is light-skinned. These girls are in their 30s. Maybe I'm expecting too much, but this is the kind of reasoning I expect from 20 something year olds, from immature children. She has so much work to do. How can you compare yourself to Chinasa as if it's something special about her, wondering why he chose her and left you? Men have never needed a reason to do anything, so wasting time wondering why he did this, that, or the other is nuts. He didn't even pick Chinasa for any special reason. She was a young woman who was available and was impressed by his money. Sorry, your money. This was a young woman he could take advantage of, have sex with. That's it. If it wasn't Chinasa, it would be some other hot young thing. I was legit so shocked by that whole interaction. Comparing yourself to the woman a nigga's cheating with? Are you serious? Like, how are you an adult? This trying to understand why he left? Men don't need a reason for anything. Know that and know peace. They don't need a reason to attack you, to lie to you, to steal from you. The only reason, to the extent that there's one, is their selfishness, their prioritizing of their own needs, whatever those needs are, over the needs of everyone else. Stop looking for logic with men from men's actions. There's none. They are simply selfish. This assumption that men are rational beings with good reasons for their actions has been in heavy circulation in Kenya during this femicide crisis. A man banned his girlfriend with hot water for rejecting his suggestion that they move in together. People were in the comments talking about no one would just do that. Something else must have happened. The man must have some kind of justifiable reason. It's part of why we continue peppering victims with questions like, what were you wearing? Was it something you said that triggered him? Maybe he didn't know you were scared. Maybe he didn't understand your body language. Was it this, that, or the other? What? There's no logical reason. None. So stop looking. They do shit because they can and because they want to. Period. It doesn't occur to them to care about other people's feelings or desires. Certainly not enough to change their behavior. They take what they want, when they want, how they want. That's it. Selfish motherfuckers. He wanted Chinasa, a hot little thing, so he went after Chinasa. Period. He didn't give one fuck about what it would do to Adesuwa or even his kid. He wanted something, he took it. There will always be a Chinasa. Many Chinasas. And no matter what you do, watching your weight, learning the spicy moves, lightening your skin, no matter what you do, you cannot be all the Chinasas. How is this still confusing when it comes to men?
But it's just that I'm having a hard time letting go of the things Soji robbed me of. Besides my money, of course. You know, my dignity. My sense of worth. as a woman.
Adesuwa goes on to talk about the things Soji robbed her of: her dignity, her sense of worth as a woman. How are any of these attached to a man? Your sense of worth as a woman? What are we doing here? Divest. Learn from Adesuwa. No man can have any impact on your sense of worth as a woman unless you let him. Don't let him. About her dignity, maybe there's something there. I mean, he put her business out there, publicly shamed her to the extent that young employees in her office were discussing her disastrous marriage. Maybe her dignity took a hit, but sense of worth as a woman? No. Divest.
She was extremely determined that we would have a future. My mom was a
I'm
hustler.
sorry I'm late. I had some things handled at the office. Are you okay?
You name the job, she did it. Cleaner, she did that. Cook, she did that. Sold House of Tara products on the side. Hairdresser, she did that. My mom took a job as a hairdresser. Didn't know how to do hair. And I remember saying to my mom, don't know how to do hair. Why did you take this job? And she's like, look, I have school fees to pay. I'll figure it out.
Lara's mother. During her mother's burial service, Lara praises her mother for being hardworking and being willing to do whatever it took to provide for her children after their father died. Lara says her mother took all kinds of jobs, from cooking to cleaning to hairdressing, to take care of her family. She did whatever it took. What's interesting to me is Lara, in praising her, is the film praising her. Praising the type of woman who the film doesn't give a single fuck about. Poor women. You know, the damn money types who don't have investments and don't sit on boards and don't have enough zeros in their salary, much less anything approximating a net worth.
A tradition.
And I said no.
Festus, drop it. For your information, the elders and our entire family members are not happy with you at all. They have sent me to tell you that our sister must be buried in our father's compound in Ujumu.
In Ijumu?
If you like, be repeating after me like a radio. Asoromagbesi. Look, this is our tradition, and things must be done properly. This plan of burying her in Lagos should never have been an option in the first place. Never.
Look.
But my son, is it me you are telling Luke?
These plans have been made weeks ago, and they're final.
You are boldly telling me that you have decided about my own sister without my consent and that of the elders? I have never seen this sort of thing before. Never.
I apologize.
You apologize? Oh no, apologize. I be apologizing. Will this your apology change the location of the burial from Lagos to Ijumu, our father's compound? Will it? An elder like me journeyed all the way from our village to Lagos to steer you in the right direction. You are here, having the effrontery to tell me that you apologize. I do not blame you.
Okay, Uncle, you want to move it? Let's move it.
Penny, that is how it should be, Abi.
There's no problem. You haven't contributed a single dime to this burial. So here's what's going to happen. I'll find out how much it will cost and I will send you the bill. When you make a deposit, we'll start making arrangements to move it. No?
Lara is under immense pressure from her family to go really big for this funeral, give her mother a befitting send-off. I think much of this befitting send-off talk is usually just about showing off to people. It's all about conveying to people how classy you are, how much money you have, and so on. It's not about the person, it's rarely about the dead person. I love how she doesn't defer to her uncle and the village elders in their push for traditions. Fuck the elders. I would never listen to a bunch of men who fancy themselves the elders of my family or community. Fuck that. I swear they're better off sending the village women to speak to me to convince me of something at the village elders. Go talk to each other in that corner. I neither recognize nor respect your authority. Anyway, I once again want to reiterate when my time comes, wrap me in a sheet or put me in an Archbishop Tutu-like box and put me in the ground. Don't tell people I love God. I don't. It's more the opposite, really. I love Jesus, though, and not because he is believed to be God, but because he hung out with the wretched of the earth, the dispossessed. He hung with women, and not just women, whores, full-on prostitutes. I like that. He fed the hungry, healed the sick, and welcomed outcasts. He said, "Let the little children come to me," making room for the most vulnerable members of society. Plus, to top it all off, he had beef with the political leaders and called the religious leaders a brood of vipers. And he was like, rich people will not see the kingdom. It'd be easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. I mean, if the rich is the motto and Jesus is with it. In conclusion, simple burial, cremation would be even better. Not a fan of God, big fan of Jesus.
This is Okwe from the AKA. I'm calling you with regards to your loan that you have with us, sir. It's been overdue for over 20 days, sir, and we've been unable to reach you.
Yeah, please, can you tell me what really is you people's problem? I've spoken to like 5 different people from this same company. You're a big company, you're supposed to be able to give room for delays. Look, I will pay your money. You don't have to harass me 100 times a day.
But sir, we need it to be paid as soon as possible. Otherwise, we'll be forced to take drastic steps.
It's like, Oga, it's like you did not hear me the first time. Okay, you see all these your subtle threats? They don't work with people like me. Look, I be Saleko boy. We know they fear anything.
Sir, see, let me just tell you. I advise you to make that payment as soon as possible to avoid further embarrassment.
Listen. Yeah? You can go ahead and do your worst, okay? And by the way, don't ever call this number again. Jabokuro lori phone for me, Jari. Idiots.
Loan apps. Mr. Adesuwa, aka Soji, is indebted to what appears to be multiple mobile money loan apps. I'm convinced that the characters are all archetypes of sorts, representing different types of people. The broke people are represented by Badebo, Banke, and Soji. Badebo is the man who lost his money, and because his wife is a trophy wife, his marriage is on the rocks as well. Banke is the trophy wife who is learning that a man is not a financial plan, not even a rich one. Soji is the irresponsible guy who can't keep a job and who will lose all your money. He is presented as the kind of person using loan apps to live it up in an effort to keep up this appearance of being rich. The problem is that it's not the profile of your ordinary loan apps user. One study out of India found that the loan app economy experienced a boom during the pandemic and has been sustained by the harsh financial landscape. The cost of living has gone up, outpacing people's income. Worse, as economic growth slowed down during the pandemic, people took heavy pay cuts or lost their jobs altogether, and the number of opportunities in the market does not match the supply. Furthermore, gaps in things like healthcare infrastructure further burden people. These burdened people make up the victim base for these predatory lenders. These people are taking loans to make ends meet in increasingly hostile economic circumstances. Which part reads like Soji's lifestyle to you? The people taking loan apps are precarious, desperate people who have no options, not people taking loan apps so that they can order bottle service. They're taking loans to pay rent, feed their kids, pay hospital fees. That's what the average borrower is doing. I hate this deliberate mischaracterization of struggling people. Soji is not your average loan abuser. He is not.
Okay, Mommy.
Okay, good.
Good night, Mommy. Good night, Granny.
Good night, my darling.
And Mommy.
Yes?
When is Daddy going to come and stay with us?
Well, hopefully sooner than you expect.
Good night, Mommy.
Good night. Mwah.
Adesuwa's kid. Adesuwa's disastrously named child, SJ, asks when his father is coming to live with them again. Adesuwa says, hopefully sooner than you expect. At this point, Adesuwa has not decided whether she's getting a divorce. However, she knows they're not getting back together. Why is she lying to that child? One, that child is old enough to understand if things are explained to him. All children know children who are not raised by both parents. It's common enough now to be easy to explain. In fact, people will rightly point out that such families have always existed. Second, children are not stupid. They know things, and when you lose their trust, you may never get it back. You want your child to always trust what you tell them. You want them to believe they will always get the truth from you, at least about the big things. Risking that, especially when you're the primary parent, is borderline dangerous. I suppose the argument can be made that she's protecting him from facing the whole their family is broken thing. Still, is it still not broken whether they talk about it or not? Failing to talk about it isn't changing anything. It's just leaving him with questions, leaving him in limbo, uncertain. Children need stability, and leaving him in limbo like that is not healthy. He is better off knowing his father no longer lives with them than living in that nowhere land where his hopes are constantly dashed.
My people, yesterday night, I could not sleep. The Lord took me into the realms of the spirits, and I saw a lake of fire. And I asked the Lord, what is this? And he made me to understand that they were women between the ages of 25 to 35, jumping into the fire. These are ladies that are supposed to be in their husband's home. And the Lord made me to understand, you have desecrated his altar. And that is your body, because your body is the temple of the Lord. Amen? Amen. I cried and I cried and I cried for mercy. The Lord told me in his anger that there's nothing he can do. If you know you belong to those who have been sleeping with men and you are not married to them, or you have been living with a man permanently in his house unmarried, come to this side. Yes, this side. This side, come to this side. He's a God of mercy. When we cry unto the Lord, he will hear us from his holy heaven. You will come and meet me after the service, okay? And I will tell you what to do. May the Lord bless you all.
Osalubwalaho, I'm calling on you on behalf of my daughter Zuri. Father, please, help her to stop moving from one man to the other and get settled.
Mom, can I call you back? I'm in the middle of something.
Zuri, are you with a man?
Are you in Shola's house?
Zuri, I have told you to be slowing down.
If you give everything to this man, what will be left to get married to? Besides, this your action is confirming Prophetess Golden's dreams.
Which dreams again? And what is Angel Gabriel saying to you now?
Mock me, eh? Make fun of me.
I'm here trying to help you, but there you are, laughing at me. Prophetess Golden said, if you continue this way, you will derail your destiny. Besides, she said there's a lot of spiritual work we have to do. She said she'll prepare some special cleansing prayers. But first, we have to do our own part. You have to stop sleeping in Shola's house. And 2, you have to send me 1 million naira so that I can send it to Prophetess Golden so that the work can start.
Mommy, wait. I don't understand. 1 million naira. I sent you 500K to sow a seed just last month and then 300K 2 months ago to contribute to the church's building fund. Mom, this is getting ridiculous. Why are you so thick-headed?
Instead of you to be thankful that you have a mom who is in the church night and day, praying for you and your destiny and your progress, you are there talking nonsense. There is nothing too big to give to our God. There is nothing too big to give to the God of Prophetess Goldie. Prophetess, thank you for seeing me.
We thank God. We thank God. How is your daughter doing?
Zuri is fine.
My dear, cast your burden upon the Lord and he may relieve you.
Prophetess, it is that seed. Zuri is not taking it serious. She's not taking it serious.
What exactly did she say?
She said that it is ridiculous. Eh?
Jesus. Look, if your daughter doesn't get married on time, that means her destiny is derailed. Yes. And the powers of darkness, they know this. That is why they're fighting her. And if you don't hurry up and do it on time, your daughter might never get married again.
Prophetess, please help me. I want to see my children's children, my grandchildren. I want my daughter to get married. Please help me. Help me, please.
Do you believe?
I believe in you, Prophetess Goldie. I believe in you. Yes, I believe in you. Okay. Let me go and look for the seed.
Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll be with you.
Zuri.
Religion. Zuri's mother. Women, it appears, are perpetually incomplete, deficient, defective. There's always something they need to do to become worthwhile and acceptable. Women are only valuable when they are young. Once you hit 30, you might as well die. If you insist on staying alive, you must do something to raise your dwindling value. First, in this case, you better be making big money, the kind of money that justifies your presence on this earth emitting deadly carbon dioxide. Second, you better find you a man. Nothing covers and fixes a woman's dwindling value like a man's attention. If you can get a man to look at you and desire to stick it in you, you're on the right track, which isn't hard because these are the same people who gang raped a monitor lizard, then killed and ate it. R.I.P. monitor lizard. If you can get this man to marry you, even better. Of course, the most surefire way to fix your female deficiency is to produce male offspring. If you can do this, you will have brought up your value to almost human. As I watched Zuri's mother panic about demons stealing her child's destiny and standing in the way of her marriage, I wondered where this was coming from. I mean, to link it to African culture would have been, I guess, fine. I know nothing about Nigerian cultural beliefs. However, to suggest that this is something God concerns himself with enough to wake the prophet up with scary visions is something else. Had I missed something in my Christian days about God wanting you to be married? I don't remember reading a single verse to that effect. So I went to the archives and I searched. And friends, God has nothing to say about unmarried women and wanting them married. It's just not a priority for him. Sure, he has things to say about virgins, and Paul has things to say about unmarried virgins serving God, but that's it. In fact, Paul thinks it would be better to focus on serving God and not getting married. There's no talk about it being God's plan that young women should get married, or worse, that this is something the devil is trying to thwart. The devil also appears unconcerned about your marriage prospects or lack thereof as an unmarried woman. The most God says about the benefit of getting married is about men, saying, quote, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing." That's Proverbs 18:22. And it's fucking true. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. Marriage benefits men, but it fucks with women. Psychology Today found that, and here I'm quoting, men sometimes avoid marriage, but it benefits them more than women, end quote. Married men are happier, healthier, and wealthier. than single men. They live longer, are less likely to engage in reckless behavior, and get this, have stronger bones. The only people who fare better than married men are single women. How happy are married women? Here's a statistic that will hopefully clarify things. Divorced men and married women have the highest rates of suicide. So there's that. The only benefit married women get from marriage is financial, all of which goes when they get divorced. Men's financial status remains relatively unchanged after divorce. Like the writer of the piece, I am astonished that despite all the evidence, marriage still seems like a good idea to most women. He concludes, marriage is a system more designed to keep women entrapped in marriage than men. What do women have to look forward to in marriage? The exploitation of their domestic labor, including childcare. This thing that contributes to men's happiness is one of the key sources of women's unhappiness. Men get to laze, and women pick up the slack, working to keep the house running. The power dynamics favor men, and often they get their way. Women give up more of themselves and their interests, making bigger sacrifices, and yet end up being held responsible for any problems, failures, or instabilities in the marriage. All this is in a good marriage or relationship where there is no abuse. Abuse, including rape, domestic violence, and coercive control, are closer to the norm than they are an aberration in heterosexual relationships under the patriarchy. About 36% of women seeking marital therapy had experienced non physical sexual coercion. About 51% of victims of rape were raped by an intimate partner. You are more likely to be raped by your partner than anyone else. Keep in mind, rape is criminally underreported. Nearly 3 in 10 women in the US have experienced rape, physical violence, and or stalking by a partner. Still in the US, only about half of all domestic violence incidents are reported to law enforcement. You can be certain reporting rates are even lower in African countries like Nigeria. Marital rape and coercion, for example, is underreported for a variety of reasons, including shame and perceiving it as wifely duties. So, that's what wifing is about, performing all the domestic labor and sexual coercion at a rate of almost 4 in 10 women. You understand that high suicide rate now, right? Back to Zuri's mother. Where in the Bible does Jesus ask for something in return for prayers and miracles? Where did Jesus ask for a seed before meeting someone's need? Jesus went about doing good for free, healing the sick, feeding the hungry, comforting those who mourned. He went about doing good, caring for people for free. Christians need to get serious. You need to start reading your Bibles and believing that even you can understand that simple English. Better yet, have faith that the Holy Spirit, who reveals deeper insights to your prophet, can and will do the same for you. When Jesus died, the curtain was torn, and there is therefore now no mediator between you and God except Jesus Christ. That prophet has no special insight or access to God that you don't have. Jesus is the only mediator, and you have him. Don't fall for the sideshows and fear-mongering money grab tactics.
I know you don't care much about my advice these days, but I'm your mother. I cannot watch you walk a path that has permanent implications and just keep quiet. Look, forget this modern-day feminism. You have SJ to think about. Remember what he said the other night? He misses his father.
Mommy, please. Not this again. I'm tired. I didn't choose any of this. I didn't just wake up and decide to be separated from my husband. Soji made that decision when he decided to move in with his mistress and cleared out our savings. I didn't have a choice in the matter.
Adesuwa, I want you to be happy. Look, I'm not saying Soji did not wrong you. But he's not perfect. They don't come perfect. And it is obvious that it is the devil that is prodding him. But you can't just allow one baby brat come into your home and destroy things. Look, Adesuwa, it is time to embark on serious fasting and prayer.
So I should go on hunger strike for who? Mommy, please. I've already reached my weight goal for the year.
You are pressing phone. You think this is a joke? We are talking about your life here and you think it is a joke? Eh? Everything is a joke to you. Adesuwa, you want to be a divorcee? Eh? This is your life we're talking about, my friend. And stop all this nonsense and fight.
Adesuwa's mother. Adesuwa's mother is trying to pressure her to reconsider things with Soji for a variety of reasons, including, get this, at the SJ misses his father. What kind of stupid reasoning is that? I swear one of the biggest surprises of adult life is how completely, how thoroughly people lack critical thinking skills. Actually, just thinking skills. People say things and you just wonder, are the lights on upstairs? Is anyone home? Is your head just a place you hang your hat or wig? What's going on? Now, Adesuwa's mother says SJ misses his father. Is Soji dead? Can Soji only be seen if he has regular access to Adesuwa's vagina? What's happening here? Also, children want all kinds of things that are not good for them. Soji is not good for anyone or anything, much less an impressionable male child. That is someone who needs to be kept as far away as possible from that child. Bancroft cites a study that found that men learn abusive behaviors by observing their fathers abusing their mothers. That loser needs to stay far away from that young boy. We also need to talk about this expectation that women must constantly make the sacrifices. Womanhood is synonymous with suffering, bearing and grinning and taking it. Fuck that. No more suffering and sacrificing, certainly not for men. The only person who would benefit from their reunion is Soji. Period. Everyone else would lose. Women get to be as happy as the rest of the population. Her mother says Soji is not perfect. No one is. First of all, fuck you, Mama Adesuwa. Next time someone says that nonsense statement in response to justified criticism of men, I'm going to scream. Nobody is asking for perfect men. Something you're all perfectly aware of. You're being disingenuous, arguing in bad faith, and you know it. All women want is men who do not willfully hurt them, men who are not abusive, men who are kind and gentle and considerate and fucking safe. Faithful, trustworthy men who do not drain your bank account and run off with some woman. Men who fucking do a comparative amount of housework and childcare. That's not perfection. That's the bare minimum. Adesuwa's mother also implies that it is that young girl Chinasa who came into Adesuwa's marriage and destroyed things. Chinasa was not married to Adesuwa. She was a free agent, free to bang anyone who would bang her back. She made no promises of fidelity to Adesuwa. Soji, on the other hand, stood in front of witnesses, signed legal papers, and made promises to Adesuwa. Promises he had no intention of keeping. Soji is the one who fucked the marriage up. Literally. Not Chinasa. I hate, loathe, and despise the idea of a broken home. It is a symbol of our valorization of patriarchy and men. Why is it that if the nigger is no longer present, now it's a broken home? We're out here giving men too much power. A family does not need a penis person to be present for it to be complete. It does not. Fuck the patriarchy. Was the family less broken when Soji was spending nights in club and coming home in the morning? Are we suggesting that the mere presence of a man, even one who spends nights in unknown women's arms, is all it takes to make a family complete? Not broken? That's some bullshit. Families look all types of ways, and single parent, single mother families are complete as they are. No penis needed to complete them.
Hey, my love. I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm sorry. It was a very hectic day. Forgive me. Come on, Zuri. I'm sorry. Hey. Listen, I know I've been MIA since the funeral. I'm sorry. Please. Please. Forget it. I'm sorry.
Is everything okay?
Everything is fine. I'm handling it, okay?
Are you sure?
Yes. Can we please not talk about work now that you have my attention? Please.
Do I?
Of course you do.
Well, I don't know. Because the film fund seems to have most of your attention these days.
I know. I agree, and I'm sorry. But I promise as soon as I knock this off, you and I are going on vacation, okay?
Promises.
Promises that I intend to keep, Zuri. I'm sorry, baby. Please? Tell me what the problem is.
I need to talk to you about something. Well, you know how I've been overseeing the project at work, right?
Yes.
Well, the land is owned by the...
No, babe, please, keep talking. I'm listening to you.
The land is it's owned by... Just answer it.
Baby, give me 2 minutes, please. One minute. Yes, I know. What's the problem? No, I haven't checked my email. Oh, shit. Listen, Anu, get dressed now. I'm coming to your house. We have to go to Mr. Mafidon's house to assure him that everything is fine.
Well, there goes me having your attention.
Baby, listen, I'm sorry. You know if it wasn't important, I wouldn't go. And about what you're facing in the office, I have complete faith in you, okay? You knock it out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love you, but I have to go. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Zuri and Tsola. Zuri needs to secure this land for her company, and the land, it turns out, belongs to her ex's family. She considers going through him, then reconsiders because he's being hella inappropriate. Next in line is his brother, Sheni Sani, a stone cold Hardy. He used to have a thing for Zuri, but they didn't do nothing. Maybe nothing yet. Who knows? My sister was just super glad someone was here to ruffle up Shola's perfect universe. Tsola, we learn, has been MIA for weeks. Since the funeral, he's engulfed in this $100 million film fund project he secured funding for. He's finally back now. He's late for their date, but he apologizes profusely. And he's back. Something's wrong. Something's going on with this film fund project. Something bad. Something he's clearly worried about. Yet when Zuri asks multiple times, he refuses to open up. He turns things over to her, asks about what's going on with her. Just as she starts explaining, they're interrupted by his trilling phone. He tries to ignore it, but eventually answers, and he says he has to leave. Turns out he's not quite back yet, so there's that. I like everything about this scene. I kind of like that conflict. I imagine a workaholic partner or one who can't quite figure out his work-life balance or prioritize the relationship is a problem many people can relate to. I thought that would have been a great angle. It didn't turn out that way, but I continue to love the scene regardless. I'd like to interrupt normal programming once again to gush about how blown away I am by his performance. I don't know what he did in the intervening years, but God, Shola's performance is wonderful. I love it. I bitched about it so much in season 1. The least I can do is talk about how good I think it is every time I'm reminded. And friends, I'm reminded a lot. His performance in this scene, for example, I felt it. They were so good together. Zuri was always good though. Together, it's phenomenal. Great job, Tsola. As always, Laden, I missed you. I miss you and your body. R.I.P. Karibi Fubara. Rest in peace.
It's just that I didn't mean to offend anybody or imply anything. I'm just saying that maybe we should be a bit prudent with how we are spending.
Wait. So all of a sudden you now know about being prudent or prudence. Eh? I don't get it. When did you start caring about how money comes in or leaves his family? Ladon, answer me now. Or I want to understand what you're implying. Are you suggesting that we just open a ground somewhere and dump my father in it?
Relax. Why are you so rude? She was just showing some concern.
Don't tell me to relax. Are you listening to your wife?
Relax.
Thanks for stopping by. Until next time, remember you. Love life, love people, stay